evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to Lefties Losing It. I've got some local loopy lefty content for you tonight. Oh, we've got our fair share of crazy down under. But first, here is Scottish actor Alan Cumming, who was guest hosting Jimmy Kimmel's show, and he seems determined here to be even more annoying and more stupidly woke than Kimmel. You know what is worse than one dumb analogy? 5 dumb analogies.
I happen to believe that there are actual superheroes in real life who walk among us. And these superheroes are called trans people. Because just like superheroes, trans people are born with something special and magical about them, and they often have to hide what's special and magical about them from other people. Like superheroes, they grow up in a society that doesn't understand them, that makes them the other and often hates them. Like superheroes, trans people just want the world to be a safer place, and they believe we should protect each other and live our lives in peace. Like superheroes, evil billionaires want to get rid of trans people for no reason whatsoever. And just like superheroes, trans people are not new. They've been around forever and they're not going anywhere, no matter how much this administration tries to make you fear them.
And that painfully unfunny and diabolically dumb monologue was not done yet. Not only does this weirdo see trans people as some sort of superheroes, he seems to think they are treated worse than criminals, worse than rapists. Indeed, he said that on TV, along with this lie about the president.
There is no evidence that trans people are a threat to women. There is, however, ample evidence that the President of the United States publicly brags about barging into beauty pageant dressing rooms and grabbing women by their p***s. Wake up, America! Why on earth would a rapist go to the bother of pretending to be trans in a country that actually treats rapists better than trans people?
Wake up, America. Gosh, I can't imagine why these late-night TV shows are not rating well. I can't imagine why Greg Gutfeld has an audience that is far larger than all of the others. Now to Australia, where a former reality TV participant turned Instagram influencer, Abby Chatfield, posted this on TikTok, calling on Americans to assassinate the president. This is gross.
Americans, when are you going to do it? Why isn't it already done? Every day there's another happening, right? Awful for your country. Awful, right? Why don't we redirect this energy to something else? You know? There's all these incels that are going, oh my so they go and do. You know what would actually make people respect you a little bit and make people want you? Is if you did it. Is if you did it. You get heaps of fan mail. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just do it.
Yep, unbelievable. And there was this demented performance from the same character calling on Americans to riot because apparently the election was rigged and they have no more democracy. Now, this sad little bully, cry bully, combination of crybaby and bully, actually has a following among young girls in Australia. That's the sad thing. She has a following, and that's why the Prime Minister sat down with her for a lengthy interview. Sat down with this.
Where's the protest? Stand the up. Do you understand that last night, the oligarch that was in charge of your government, he actually admitted to rigging the election. In a way. Obviously not explicitly, but he did say that without his help, the outcome would have been different. So maybe we should stand up. Land of the free. You guys have no democracy left. Look, I hope it's not true. It's not guaranteed to be true. I understand that. But it's time to at least inquire. Yeah, it's time to at least ask someone and go, was the election rigged? Can we have a redo? Like, I feel like there have been a few signs pointing to some suspicious dictatorship, oligarch activity regardless of this. But I thought I'd see some protests, some riots, some chaos, some good old American freedom fighting.
Don't even know what to say about the unhinged rant or those completely unco dance moves. Is that what she was trying to do? You know, it was only a couple of months ago when Abby was crying hysterically, claiming another leftist feminist, Clementine Ford, was bullying her. Remember this?
Stop lying about my character and my intentions. Please stop dehumanizing me. Please, you can criticize my content, you can criticize my work, just I'm begging you to stop lying about my intentions and stop saying that I have a personality disorder. You don't know me.
Okay, now to an EasyJet passenger who became a lefty losing it mid-flight when his Trump derangement got the better of him. Thankfully, there were passengers on that flight who took matters into their own hands, but this dude is headed for the no-fly list.
Going to bomb the plane. Death to America, death to Trump. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar.
Oh my God. You got
Sit down. Don't move.
And the dim, woke sports journalists never disappoint. They are so reliably predictable. Listen to how they framed this question to Baltimore Ravens head coach John Harbaugh. Had they tried to shame him for meeting with the US president, a leader of the free world?
Donald Trump has said, denigrating things about Baltimore, including no DEP who wants to live there. As a prominent representative of Baltimore.
Well, how you frame that question? I would frame the question like, you got a chance to go visit with the president, man. What was that experience like? It was amazing. It was awesome. And I promise you, I root for our president.
What a brilliant way to answer that question. And the Super Bowl winning coach wasn't done yet. This is how you handle the biased, bitter press.
My mom and President Trump, just seeing how he treated her was really meaningful.
We've got a treat for you. The mad, bad, chronically sad Joy Reid was back on TV. No, not hosting her own show like she did for many years on MSNBC, the mental asylum masquerading as a news network. No, Joy was on Piers Morgan's show and it didn't go well.
I think you were fired because your show just got increasingly unpopular. It happens all the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
First of all, I love the fact that your play the race card is your version of the race card. You literally are so fixated on trying to racialize conversations with me, Piers, that I find it actually quite charming.
You racialize more conversations in your tenure at MSNBC than any host in history.
All right, Mark. All right, Piers.
And of course, after being accused of playing the race card, Joy went about proving that's all she knows how to do.
And it is so interesting to me that you yourself, as a white European, find that when people of color talk about race, that you believe is racializing conversations. But when people like you fixate on, well, Barack Obama was a black president, why don't you object to that? That is racializing a conversation about the former president of the United States. But you can't put your, and I'm sure you find that charming and funny.
I find it hilarious because you're the one. You're the one who said Donald Trump.
You and your friend Donald Trump.
You said Donald Trump is a white fascist.
Are so. He is. Well, I agree with Mark
And yet when Obama did the same thing,
last time I checked, is
I'm not allowed to mention his skin colour.
No, Piers, you're not allowed to mention Obama's skin colour, even when it's Joy who introduced race into the debate, because that's all a race baiter knows how to do. Here, Joy proves she doesn't actually care about the issue. She just cares about attacking Trump.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, why don't you guess?
I don't know and don't care.
Well,
you
hang
tell
on,
me.
hang on. You don't know and you don't care. You've just given me...
Because it's not the issue. You're trying to make the issue the southern border.
Joy. You've just given me... Joy, Joy,
the point is...
Joy, given that you're obviously all over every detail of the Trump deportation policy and given you were on the airwaves in America on a daily basis through Obama's tenure, how many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll tell me, I'm sure.
Have a guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain.
Have a
because
guess.
I think each 2 million.
Right, it was 3 million.
Okay. And your point being what?
Your point being what? The point being you're an unprincipled hypocrite, Joy. I think that was Pierce's point. Now to another lefty, a far more sane one than Joy. Bill Maher has had a realisation. Turns out tariffs didn't tank the economy or the share market. They didn't cause a recession. In fact, they're doing precisely what Donald Trump said they would do.
I remember along with probably most people, was saying at the beginning, oh, you know, by the 4th of July, somebody had a thing how the country was, the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me. But that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump. Because that's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty. Because the truth is, I don't know what his strategy is, but look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all.
Oh, Bill, if you want to know what Donald Trump's tariff strategy is, then just listen to what he's been saying for decades. He's spelled it out so many times. But sadly, despite Bill being much saner than the average lefty, he does still exist in somewhat of an echo chamber. Remember when Megyn Kelly schooled him over and over again? Maher was ignorant of the most basic facts, like this.
Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
Now, this next clip is delicious. Here is Steve Bannon calling out the activist journalists of PBS on PBS.
And the rhetoric about the judge, because a lot of lawyers say, you know, all of the rhetoric, calling for impeachment, the radical left lunatic, that this rhetoric, that's not the type of thing the president should say. He should appeal. He should abide by the court ruling and not.
Listen, by the way, was there any complaint from PBS or was there any complaint by the Democrats on the rhetoric used against the judges when the Roe v. Wade decision came out and they had to have police protection at their houses? I don't remember anything about the rhetoric being too high. You guys are so phony on the face of it. This is why we're defeating the left. The American people, as they see this, they go, these guys are a bunch of lying scumbags, which you are, a bunch of lying scumbags. You try to terrorize Supreme Court justices over a decision that didn't go your way.
I told you it was delicious. And talking about scumbags, here is Democrat Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. This might be a new low for the squad.
Palestinian people, this is all for you.
Now, here's some news sure to make the average CNN viewer extra sad. Take it away, Harry.
The bottom line is this. Despite everything that's going on in the world right now, Republicans are more trusted on Democrats when it comes to foreign policy and the world at large.
And the figures show the American people, despite the relentless media campaign against the Trump administration and its foreign policy decisions, well, the American people have more faith in Trump and the GOP than the Democrats.
When it comes to the issue of foreign policy, again, what you see is, in the American voters' minds, Democrats simply put can't hack it. More voters trust Republicans on foreign policy, very much like they did back during the 2024 campaign.
What about the strikes on Iran? Because while they were being contemplated, they were not universally popular.
No, they were not universally popular. And in the immediate aftermath, they were not universally popular. Look at this. Net approval rating, U.S. airstrikes on Iran. In late June, the net approval rating, look at that. -8 points underwater. But as the American people learned more and more about it, look at this, a 10-point rise. Now it's in the positive. The American people like the move that Donald Trump put on Iran, the U.S. airstrikes in Iran.
Now, there was a shocking mass shooting in New York City today that left 4 innocent people dead, including a police officer. But before the assailant was named, we had media outlets like CNN trying to guess the race of the gunman, desperate to know how white he was, even though the picture released showed he was not.
They do not know who he is. They know he is a male, possibly white. He's wearing sunglasses. He appears to have a mustache. And that picture has been distributed to every police officer in New York City.
Yes, the colour of the 27-year-old mass shooter, identified by sources as Shane Tamara, was somehow hugely relevant to CNN. And in further proof that you can never be far left enough for the increasingly crazy modern left, songstress and leftist activist Billie Eilish is being accused of racism and celebrating whiteness because she said this during her Dublin show over the weekend.
As you guys know, I'm Irish, so it's really cool to come somewhere and like everybody looks exactly like you, and you're all just as pasty as me.
Yep, for saying it's really cool to come somewhere where everyone looks exactly like you. She's being accused of being an ethno-nationalist. You know, I was feeling terribly sorry for the girl, but then I remembered this.
We are voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they are fighting to protect our reproductive freedom, our planet, and our democracy. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does.
Yep, you pandered to the crazy, Billy. Don't be surprised when the crazy come for you. And that's a lesson actress Sydney Sweeney is learning the hard way. You see, the predictably lefty Hollywood type is now being called a Nazi promoting white supremacist because of this ad for clothing brand American Eagle.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney, Hasbro Jeans.
Yep, that's it. That's the so-called racist dog whistle heralding in a new era of white supremacy, if the crazy progressives are to be believed. And the meltdown is frankly too big to fully detail in this segment. Hundreds, if not thousands, of enraged videos online posted in response to that ad, and there are plenty of articles on this too, including this from MSNBC saying Sydney Sweeney's ad shows an unbridled cultural shift towards whiteness. Advertisements are always mirrors of society, and sometimes what they reflect is ugly and startling. And the calls for boycotts have already started.
Don't forget to boycott American Eagle for their racist online, talking about blue jeans and white people. Boycott American Eagle. Boycott the out of them. Boycott American Eagle. Do not buy them. And cancel this person, Ms. Sweeney. Cancel for her being racist, for doing Nazi propaganda. Cancel American Eagle.
Now, this next woman was reduced to tears by the ad.
And I don't know why. Maybe because it's just so blatant. I keep thinking that people just are not going to believe us until we're hung out there.
And the ad is being described among the left as Nazi propaganda.
Those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird, like fascist weird, like Nazi propaganda weird.
My body's composition is determined by my genes. Hey, eyes up here.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
Oh, what can you say? Apparently this ad is so grotesquely racist that it's going to end up in the history books.
You guys are complaining about that Sydney Sweeney jeans ad, so I went and saw it. That's Nazi propaganda. Wow. I thought it was going to be, like, kind of bad. That's going to be in history book.
And now even the celebs are joining in the pile-on. Here is Doja Cat mocking Sydney Sweeney.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determined in traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
And let's check in with Democrat Cory Booker having an almighty meltdown on the Senate floor. It was a wide-ranging meltdown. He even accused fellow Democrats of bowing to President Donald Trump. Let's have a look at just a little snippet of this theatrical tantrum.
That's why I'm standing here. Don't question my integrity. Don't question my motives. I'm standing for Jersey. I am standing for my police officers. I'm standing for the Constitution, and I'm standing for what's right. And dear God, if you want to come at me that way, you're going to have to take it up with me, because there's too much on the line right now in America. As people's due process rights and freedom of the speech rights and secret police are running around this country, picking people up off the streets who have a legal right to be here. There's too much going on in this country.
And a warning to our viewers, this next story contains distressing content. Yesterday we covered the sickening scenes of violence in Cincinnati, Ohio, where 3 people who happened to be white were bashed senseless by large groups of cheering black folk. It looked like race-based attacks, but the racial element was a secondary issue. It was this extreme violence that was so disturbing, so much so that Vice President J.D. Vance weighed in on the issue. But yesterday, Cincinnati Police Chief Terry Thiege addressed the issue, and she made these, frankly, astonishing comments.
Social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred.
I'm sorry, what? One version of what occurred? The videos are clear, Terry. A crazed mob bashed 3 defenceless people senseless. A woman who came to the defence of a man being bashed was sucker punched by a man, knocked out cold. Is there a version where that is acceptable? Now, here is a rational, considered opinion about geopolitics, about the conflict in the Middle East, delivered in a sober, eloquent manner.
No! 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 Because hundreds of thousands of people are starving! Babies and mothers and grandfathers are starving to death! Because there are thousands of trucks of food and diapers and baby formula behind the f***ing wall! And Israel won't let them in!
I think we all learned something there. Let's move along now to this totally sane and rational lady who just can't understand why those around her are happy with the economy booming, with crime being down, with the border crisis being resolved. Perhaps therapy will help.
Like, am I supposed to go to therapy now? Because I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with all of the anger and the hatred that I feel right now. But I feel like if I go to therapy, all they're going to say is the same, like, do what's in your bubble of control. You can't control. I know this. I know this. I have been trying to control what I can control since 2016. And every effort I put in and everything I do makes no difference. The world and the people around it keep getting worse.
Let's go to the lefty heartland of Portland, where for weeks now Antifa types have been protesting outside an immigration and custom enforcement facility. And it was all fun and games until it wasn't. Yep, they got sick of your nonsense, but this has to be the best moment out of Portland in recent weeks and involves the ratbag crowd of lefty agitators outside the ICE facility being told to obey the law, but listen to the voice giving the orders. This is superb.
Restricted area, maybe something to the